Good morning, everybody. It's May 22nd, 2022, and it's an overcast and it's supposed to be raining pretty heavy today, so I figured I'd do a modification day today. So we're going to modify a guitar that I bought on Facebook. Let me show you what we got. A really cool hand-painted guitar that was passed down to a woman by her mother who painted it, and she was going to give it to her daughter, but her daughter just didn't want to play, wasn't into guitar. So she put it on Facebook, where I'd seen it for quite a while. She was located near Panama City Beach. It was probably about an hour and a half away from me, about 2 hours away from me. And you know what? I decided, after looking at it over and over again, I decided I wanted to have it. And here it is. It's pretty cool. It is a really nice guitar. It's a Strat, Squire Strat. 1 second, let me get this case out of the way. It's a Squire Strat guitar, and it has been, like I said, hand painted by her mother, and I think it is really cool. Saw it on Facebook a while ago, and really, I love the paint. I love the patina. I mean, it's not perfect. This purple paint, but it looks like it's turned a little bit. Same thing on the back. Paint at the back of the neck. It looks pretty cool. It's definitely a Squire. It's good quality. I've already done a basic setup on it, and it sets up fine, the intonation. But I decided I want to modify it. So what I'm going to do, my usual style, you know how like I've said before in videos that the Strats that I get, you know, when I play Stratocasters, for some reason the style of playing that I do, the metal and the kind of style I play, I'm constantly nudging the volume knob, and I'm always turning the volume knob down inadvertently when I'm playing, so I always turn it back up. So I always like the single humbucker configuration with the one volume knob for Strats in general. As you can see, I've done that to quite a few of the Strats that I own. I probably own about 25-30 Stratocasters. So I had this laying around from before. I was using this on a different project, but the neck that I wanted has been delayed, so I'm going to have to reorder it. So I figured I'd use this now, and I painted this pickup housing for the Pac-Man guitar, but I'm waiting on the neck for that because I'm getting ready to do the Pac-Man guitar too. So I figured I'd use this. It's been curing now for a week, and I found a really good pickup that I'm going to put in here. It's 16 ohms, so it's pretty hot. It's a hot pickup, and it's passive. At first I was going to put an EMG in here, but I decided, you know, yellow, it's pretty cool. Doesn't really match 100% exactly, but it's really close, so it's pretty cool. And I've got this yellow paint that I could always touch up, but I do like the fact that it's not perfect. And you see how the screws were painted and everything like that? I'm going to use the same screws. I'm just going to modify this. I'm going to add that. We're going to go with a single pedometer, the volume knob and everything like that, and I'll probably put my name on the headstock logo, of course. But let me show you more on this guitar. The neck was painted, the headstock, and if you happen to be watching me, you know, the person I picked this up for, she's a really nice person, really nice lady. Met her over in the beach area over there, and it was pretty cool before I went to the Striper concert. So yeah, this is a really cool guitar. So alright, and I'm going to modify it, and I'm going to take everybody along for every step. I'll show you the steps. First step is going to be dismantling, disassembling. I'll probably have to do the fret work. I'm sure there's never been fret work done, so I'll round the fret end. I get the fret end files, and I'll round the frets. Then I'll level, crown, and polish the frets. And hopefully when I tape this off, I don't pull any of the paint that was on there off. And I like the fact that it's just not uniform at all. It's cool. It's hand painted. It's very Destin. You know, it's very seaside. It's got the pastel colors. I mean, it's awesome. So, and I'm gonna replace it with the pickup here and with the yellow pickup, and it's gonna look really cool and sound really cool. All right, like I said, the first step is gonna be to disassemble it. Take off the electronics. We'll do the fretwork first. I'm going to do the fretwork, and then I'll do all that, and we'll see you the next step. It's going to be awesome. Alright, got the strings off and got a lot of the screws out of there. Alright, we'll do the fretwork. I'll make sure the neck is nice and level. I'll get out my neck leveling file, of course. Make sure, check the fret ends, see how they need to do, and then tape it up, and then we'll start doing some of the leveling, crowning, and polishing. Alright, we'll see you in a second. Alright, all the frets have been leveled, crowned, and polished, and they look pretty awesome. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, take off the tape and clean it up a little bit, and I'll be right back. Alright, just a quick change in plan. Had a catastrophic event happen. When I was taking the tape off after I did the fret work, all the paint started peeling off, and when I peeled it off, it just got worse and worse. So, change in plan. This guitar is actually going to become this neck anyway. I took the neck and the body, separated them. Alright, good morning. It's Monday. It's early. It's sunny outside. I decided to start another build. I'm going to call this one the Rising Sun Stratocaster guitar build. I've got this body that I bought on Facebook, if you recall my past videos. Paint, actually, I really like the paint on this one, but it actually didn't work out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a really cool, shiny Stratocaster from this body. And I've got a brand new maple Fender style neck here, and I'm just going to fit it in the pocket and make sure all the measurements line up. I got the bridge and all the other parts. Alright, so let me take out the neck. I got this neck on Amazon for probably about 50 bucks, 60 bucks. They're fairly cheap and they're good, really good quality. So let me match the neck and see if it matches up with all the measurements and see how the pocket looks and everything like that. And we'll be right back. Alright, I took the neck out of the box there. I just want to show you the neck. Beautiful neck. Look at that. That's just beautiful. Absolutely spotless. This neck's pretty awesome. I'm going to paint this body and the front of the headstock. It's going to be like a yellow-orange color. It's really kind of cool, kind of almost like a blonde color. It's really cool. Gloss. It's not quite orange, but it's not quite yellow either. It's like right in the middle. That's why I'm going to call it Morning Sunrise Strat guitar. And with this, and then with chrome hardware, it's going to look cool. Actually go gold hardware, we'll see, but I'm leaning towards chrome hardware. I just like chrome hardware better. Gold hardware, it's always hard to match the parts and make sure that, you know, the bridge and all the other parts are adequate. Alright, let me line this up and I'll be right back. Alright, to continue, I think the phone cut out there. I think I ran out of storage space. I had to put it all back on the computer. But here we go, start again. The neck pocket is really awesome. It fits really well. I got the bridge lined up. I'm going to do a string test to make sure that the neck is in the ballpark and as far as the pitch and the angle. And then I'm going to measure from the nut to the 12th, back of the 12th fret, and then take that same measurement and see how it lines up as far as intonation goes. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be coloring this, painting this guitar like it's going to be called the Morning Sunrise guitar. So it's going to have a orangish, yellowish paint. It's really nice. It's kind of like a blonde paint. I'm going to paint the full body, and then I'm going to paint the front of the headstock the same color. And I'm going to put a black Raglan logo similar to that on the headstock. As far as pickguards go, I'm going to go with a single coil pickup, single humbucker pickup with one volume knob. I may elect to go with a white typical Fender knob or something different. This is the pickup I'm going to use. It's a Seymour Duncan I had laying around from another build. It's pretty hot. It's actually at 16 plus 16.05 ohms, so it's very hot, so it should sound really awesome. And then chrome hardware, I might go with gold hardware, but it seems how I have already chrome hardware. So next step will be to make sure all the measurements and everything is good. And if that all works out, then what I'll do is I'll go through the body here. There are a couple spots that I'll probably have to put some body filler in and sand it. Then I'll sand it really good, and then we'll go with a full round of primer paint to make sure it looks perfect. I'm going to try to get this paint as perfect as possible, make sure there aren't any neck joint cracks like there was in the Striper Michael Sweet guitar that I had discovered after I was painting it. Make sure there's, and if there is any, I can fill them and it'd be perfect. So, alright, hate to see this color go. This was a really cool color from a person I bought on Facebook, but like I said, when I started taping it up to do the fret work, the paint just started coming up, and tried fixing it, and I, sanded through in a couple spots, so it's not worth saving. But I do have it documented, so if I want to look back at it and maybe kind of replicate the paint, it wouldn't be that hard to do. Just to buy different paints and then lay it out in this kind of configuration. Alright, so let me do the measurements and I'll be right back. Alright, good news. I did all the measurements and everything is perfect. This guitar was this body was from a Fender Squire guitar body, so it matches this perfectly. So the neck is perfect, it'll intonate just fine. I won't have to shim it. The neck looks pretty good. Alright, let me put everything away and then we'll take this body outside, apply some body filler and start getting the sand on it, and maybe we can get some primer coats on it today to see where we're at, because you know, you can see there's a couple of spots that are kind of like nicks in the body. I want to try to make the body as perfect, and I don't want this to raise up and be able to see it through the paint. So alright, we'll see the next step. The Morning Sunrise Stratocaster guitar build is in the first stages, and it's going to look good, and we're going to try to make this paint as perfect as possible. So here we go. Wish me luck. Alright, we'll see you in a minute. Alright, got the bridge marked up in the spot, got the neck. The neck actually fits very well in the pocket. I mean, it's like not snug, but it's just like perfectly fit. So let me do the measurements, make sure the bridge, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the nut to the back of the 12th fret, and the back of the 12th fret to the bridge, and see if all the intonation will line up perfectly, if it's in the ballpark. And then I got my strings. I'll do a string test and see how the neck is fitting as far as the angle, or if I need to make any adjustments, or if I'll have to shim the neck at all in any kind of way. And then alright, move the operation outside on this beautiful cloudless day today. I'm going to be going to see Top Gun Maverick here in the next couple of days. I'm not sure if I'm going to go today or not, but going to work on this body, get it as perfect as possible, sand it, fill in these. As you can see, it's got some dings and whatever whatnot. There's a couple spots like here, dings. Sand it, make it as perfect as possible. Then I'll do the filler primer, and then we'll sand that, and we'll see how it goes. All right, let me put some body filler in little spots here and there and start sand on it and see what we got. All right, let's see a little bit. Alright, quick update. I've been at it in about a couple hours now, sanding it, making it perfect. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'll put the filler sander on there, or the filler primer, the sandable primer. Alright, let me put this on the hanger, and then we can shoot a couple coats of filler primer on there and see how we are as far as any dents, indentations, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but it's looking pretty good. There was quite a few surface stings, dents, you know, just minor stuff though, but hopefully I can get all that out when I sand it. But the primer will definitely show up anything that I might have missed. But okay, alright, we'll see when I get it on the hanger. Alright, got it on the hanger, got it hung up, and I'm looking for any small imperfections in the finish and trying to sand them out as I go. I'm going to put a couple coats of sandable primer filler on there. I'm going to go with the Rust-Oleum Automotive 2-in-1 filler and sandable, and that way we can make sure that the finish is looking good before we go to base coats. But yeah, it's not too bad. Beautiful day out here, nice and cool. No bugs really bothering me. Perfect. So yesterday it was rainy and crazy. Yeah. Alright, this is how it looks before the filler primer goes on there. Hopefully that goes on swell and smooth without any like balls and dingles. Because sometimes that filler leaves these little dingles, you know. But alright, we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, another quick update. I got about 2 coats of primer on there, looking pretty good. Still drying, as you see. That's still wet. This is the flat gray primer, and it's looking pretty good, as you can see. All the imperfections are definitely gone, so that's good. Yeah. Did start out with that filler primer, but then, you know, I sprayed a little bit and it started shooting out the little, you know, the little sand things, I guess the filler things. So I had a can of this, just a flat gray primer, and this doesn't have the filler agent in it, and I didn't think I really needed it. If I need, there's like a spot or two, I'll just spray another coat or two and it'll cover it from where. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Now, let me swing this around so you can see the light better on the other side. Okay, yeah, but it's looking pretty good. like I said, another one I'm waiting on it to cure. So yeah, you see how the imperfections are pretty much gone. I mean, I sanded and filled, and it's it's looking better. I guess I'm getting you know, honing the skill as far as, you know, all the scratches, dings, or whatever, because this was quite dinged up, and as you can see, it looks pretty uniform. It does look pretty good. So yeah, we'll let this cure for probably, primer cures a little slower or a little faster than regular paint, but just to be on the safe side, probably let this cure for you know, 4 or 5 days, just to make sure I don't have any. And you can see, like, right, if I get real close on this section right here, where there was the 2 tones of paint, like right there, you can see a little bit of a crease. But I think when I'm going to spray a few more coats of primer just in that spot, and I think, or, you know, theoretically, I could just leave it the way it is now, and then when it fully cures, I'll just sand that little spot a little bit. And most of that's going to be under the Pickguard anyway, so that might even be the indentation from the old Pickguard, so it might not even be necessary. But yeah, it looks pretty good. So I just wanted to show you on the Rising Sun, the electric guitar build is looking good. And this light, it's a little darker on this side. But yeah. Alright, and we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, good afternoon everybody. Time to continue work on the Golden Sunset electric guitar. Alright, so what I got planned for today, I'm going to install the neck. Remember we put the primer on there and it's looking pretty good, but I'm gonna install the neck real quick and make sure all my measurements, install the bridge there and make sure all the measurements are all correct, and then once all that's good to go, then we're gonna put it back on the hanger here, and then we're gonna sand it, and then we're gonna go to paint. So alright, we'll see you next step. I'm gonna install this beautiful neck. Like I said, I got this neck on Amazon.com for about $50, and it's actually about $60 for this neck. So we're going to install it, and then I'm going to check all my measurements and make sure everything's good to go. And we'll see you in a little while. Alright, we'll see you next step. Alright, all the measurements lined up, everything looks pretty good. I got the bridge temporary installed, and I got my drill, and I got my bit marked. Okay, let me install this neck real quick, and we'll be right back. Alright, quick update. I got the neck installed and she looks beautiful. Wow. Golden Sunset guitar is going to be beautiful. That neck is just beautiful. It fits good, and all the measurements line up, and everything is pretty awesome. On this side, the neck is just over, just like a hair, just barely a hair, but it's not even noticeable. And me being picky as always, you know. But yeah, that looks awesome. That's amazing. This neck is like superior quality. I've got another one of these exact necks too. I bought 2 of them, but they are awesome. All right, so next step is I'm gonna take the neck off, put the neck back in the box for a little while. And then take the bridge off, and then we're gonna work on the paint. So I'm gonna get some 600 to 800, maybe to 1,000 sandpaper, and get this body really in really good shape. And then time to start with the paint, and that's gonna be like Golden Sunset color. That's why I named it Golden Sunset, for the color of the paint itself. But yeah, it looks pretty good. So, all right, there's debris on there, but okay, and we'll see you in a little bit. Good morning everybody, how's everybody doing this fine Sunday, June 5th, 2022. It's a beautiful day, beautiful morning here in Central Florida. It's time to work on the Golden Sunset guitar. I'm going to do some sanding. Sand with probably 600 grip sandpaper, and then we're going to try to put some base coats of Golden Sunset on this guitar. So actually it's about 10 o'clock this morning. So let's do some sanding, get everything perfect, blow it off real good, maybe get some tack cloth on it, and we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, just a quick update on the Golden Sunset guitar. The rain actually cleared up, and I was able to put some base coats on there, and I just sprayed it, and it went really good. There's a couple bugs that landed on it during the painting, which really kind of sucks when that happens, but it happens. But as you can see, I mean, it's nearly flawless. And I was able to recover where the bugs landed. Yeah, I was painting it. And you always get a bug or so that decides to go right into your paint when you're painting. Especially, I paint outside. I don't actually have a paint booth. And as you can see, I touched up on the Michael Sweet from Striper electric guitar, the Stratocaster. I touched up all the yellow and the black parts, so everything is razor sharp. Yeah, but I'll show you that in another video. But yeah, let's see if I can. I just painted it, so it's wet, and I don't want to risk. But let's see if I can get you. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Wow, that looks awesome. That looks amazing. And it's oranger than it looks. It looks kind of yellowish in the camera, but it is definitely orangish. It's definitely orange compared to like the Michael Sweet guitar. You can see the difference. But all right, let me gently set this back on the rack there, and I'll see you in a sec. All right, got it back on the rack. Yeah, it's always as you can see the difference in the colors. And in this room, the light's not that great, so the yellow, the bright yellow of the Michael Sweet guitar compared to the Golden Sunset. I don't know if it's gonna show up really good, but yeah, the paint's it's near perfect. It's just like I said, I had a couple bugs. There was a bug that flew on the very bottom, and I was able to gently pluck the bug out. And luckily the paint was wet enough that it smoothed itself over, and then with extra coats. And then there was a bug that landed right by the input jack, and so you can't even see it. I layered up a few layers of paint. I plucked the bug off, and then a couple layers. That's what happens when you spray outside and you don't actually have a dedicated booth with a fan and a vent system. There's always a chance of anything really. The wind could blow and tree bit or stray hair, lint, something. But it looks amazing. I'm really happy with that. Let me try to get over here. But yeah, that is going to be sweet. And with that neck, and I'm going to do the front of the headstock the same color, and then black with my logo. So yeah, so there we go. All right, hope everybody's having a good night, and we'll see you in a little bit. Good morning. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Monday afternoon? It's 1:47 on June 6, 2022, and ready to continue work on the Golden Sunset electric guitar build. Okay, as you remember the neck, we installed the neck, so it's got the holes in there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to level, crown, and polish all the frets, and I'm going to address any fret ends with my fret end file. And get everything good to go. Then I'm going to install the tuning keys and drill out the holes and get it all good to go. We'll have to do the string tree post, everything. I'm going to paint this the same golden sunrise color as the body, and hopefully get all that done today. And we're going to work on it, and we'll see you next step. First step is going to be to take the straight edge and get the, oh, where is my Allen wrench? I like using the Allen wrench, the extended end bit there, and get the neck really straight and perfect. I've got some fresh 320 grit sandpaper on my leveling beam. I've got my X-Acto blade. I've got my rocker. I've got my 2 StewMax Z files, so I can get the crown, the frets really good. I've got my marker. Like I said, I got my end file, and we are good to go. I got my sandpaper, and I'm going from sandpaper from 800 to 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000. Yeah, that's how I've been going on this one. 10,000 grit sandpapers, and I'll go through all the sandpaper, and that's what makes the frets nice and shiny and pretty. This neck is just so gorgeous. I can't wait. Should actually go with chrome hardware on this guitar, seeing how the body's like that orangey, really beautiful orange color. But I'm using a black pickup It's a black pickup. It's a Seymour Duncan passive pickup, but it's really hot and it looks pretty awesome. White pickguard and everything like that. So I'll just stick with the silver hardware. But anyway, all right. So let me get this straight and tape it up, and we'll see you next step. All right, next step is completed. I've got the frets level, or I'm sorry, adjusted the truss rod with my arm here, and I make sure that everything was level, the fretboard was level before you start, and I taped it off. I want to share, there was a possible glitch with this guitar. As beautiful as it is, for some reason when they installed the truss rod, they bore it out before they put the actual fretboard on top. They didn't bore it out enough near the opening, so you couldn't adjust it. I mean, you risk of stripping the nut. So what I had to do very carefully and very slowly, I've been at it, it took me about 20 minutes. I got my X-Acto blade in there and I scored around the outside of the actual screw head to make sure it had enough room, and then I put some lubricant in there. In this case I put some lemon oil, and I put some lemon oil down in that hole, and I know you're not going to be able to see it, but I was able to get the, I found the right Allen wrench, and I got in there and I was able to straighten the neck and move it. It's still a little stiff to move. Hopefully gradually when you work it, and I was taking the nut outward, so maybe that was why it was difficult. Maybe it'll be more difficult on the way in when you put the strings on there and the loads on the guitar and you have to straighten the neck. But initially I couldn't straighten the neck at all. It was very much bowed downward, so when you put your straight edge on there, it rocked quite a bit. But I was able to get it and straighten it without scarring up the opening too much. But I was able to get I did have a round file, and I got down in there and I made it nice and smooth and opened and everything like that, so we're good to go. So I got it taped up. What next step is, I've done this on many guitar builds, but I'll just go over the basics with you. I'm going to mark the frets, and then I'm going to get my leveling file, and I've got 320 grit sandpaper, and it's got the sticky on the back, and then I'll go over that and all the lines, and I'll show you that in a sec. And what you're doing is you're leveling the frets, because it could be high fret, low fret, high on one end, low on one end, but we'll mark it and we'll see how it goes. And a lot of people like to get your rocker arm and see how much it rocks right from the beginning, but I know, since how this has never been done on this guitar, that it's going to need leveling. So alright, we'll see you in a sec. The next step. Alright, yeah, it's definitely going to need leveling. I wanted to show you the second fret already. I'm going to try to do this with one hand and see if you could see it. Okay, theoretically, when you have 3 frets connected like that with your rocker arm, you should have no movement at all. But let me show you. See if I can do this with one hand. You have one. You see how there's a high fret in the center? Can you hear that? So that means that this fret is high right there. And high in the back as well. So there's going to be I'm going to need to take off some material off the top here. So I just wanted to show you that. Alright, let me mark them up and I'll be right back. Alright, another quick update. I've got all the frets marked. And usually, with the Sharpie here, I like to make a little bit of a groove in there, so it's easy. Let's see if I can show you that. Yeah, see how I got the groove? So you can mark them really easily. So I marked all the frets, the tops of the frets, after all taped off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my leveling beam, and I'm going to lightly go through light passes, back and forth, just like that. Trying not to take off the least amount of material as possible to make them all level to each other. And as you can see, when you take off, it takes off part of where you marked, and you're able to see where the high frets were. And then you go through with your rocker arm again and check them again. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, another quick update. Just wanted to show you how uneven these frets were. Yeah, this needed to be done really urgently on these frets. If I wouldn't have took the step and leveled these frets like I have, this guitar would have played very badly. Yeah, you can see on that fret right there, a lot of material. You can tell by the shape of the fret. The ones that have the least material taken off, it's more rounded, to where the ones that have more material taken off, it was definitely higher. Can you see the difference in that? So yeah. Alright, you can see all the fret dust for sure. So I did take my rocker arm and I went through and made sure they were all flat towards each other. So now what I'll do is I'll get my StewMac centered Z file on a sponsored video, but I wish they would sponsor me. These are really good files. I've got 2 of them. And if you look at them real close, you can see they're on a V and they've got the diamond fiber. I've had these files for a while and I've used them on many guitars and they're still holding up good. And you've got for the smaller on one end and for the fatter frets on the other. So what you'll do is you go through, well, you'll mark them again, then you go through and then you'll put a crown on it. And what the crown means is, because when you lop off the top like that to make them even, normally it was a round fret, but then now it looks like a trapezoid because you took the top off. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to knock off the ends with the fret file, and then you try to make them round again. And then when you go through all your sandpapers and everything like that, you'll make them round. So they'll be round again, but they'll all be level and it'll play awesome. All right, we'll see you next step. All right, quick update. Got all the frets crowned. I want to show you, see what the black lines are. Alright, we'll see you next time. Alright, another quick update. Got all the polish done on the frets. Just wanted to show you how sweet they look. Alright, let me take the tape off and we'll see you next step. Alright, another quick update. Got all the fret ends perfectly matched. Ran out of storage space, so I had to do, I had to transfer over to the computer, but I wanted to show you how they look when you do the probably needs a little bit of tension there, that little lip that's hanging over, but see how the ends are rounded and smoothed out? That makes for a really good playing surface. Alright, I'll be right back. Let me address this last one right here at the end I just noticed. 1 second. Okay, I got it. Anyway. Alright, so this is how they look when the fret ends are rounded with the file. So it looks pretty good. Alright, what the next step is, unfortunately, well, it's a good thing actually, I've got these Fender type tuners that I took from this. The original guitar, that the body was a Squier, so I'm taking all the hardware from the Squier body, and this is the Fender type tuning keys. So what I'm going to have to do is, when I install it, I'm going to have to, instead of making holes for the screws, I'm going to have to make holes for the ends, for the 2, see, it's got the 2 anchors there. So the way I do it is I put the tuner inside the hole and I line it up to where it looks the flushest if possible. Then I put a little downward pressure on there and then it'll create 2 hole divots. See with the hole divots that created? So then what I'll do is I'll get me a drill bit that's about the same size as that, just a little hair bigger, and I'll make sure I mark the drill bit, and then I'll open these up, and then it'll be perfect. Then it won't require any screws. It'll just be anchored by the nut up top. But alright, so let me work on this and we'll be right back. Alright, got my drill bit out and I got the tip marked in red how deep we want to go, and let's start installing some tuning keys. Alright, I'll be right back after I get a couple done. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright, got the holes drilled. Looks pretty good. So now with the tuning key, fit it, and it should fall right into the holes, which it does perfectly. Boom, just like that. There we go. Now 5 more just like that, and then we'll get them mounted on the top there, and I'll see you in a sec. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright, real quick, I just wanted to show you how it looks all assembled. Yeah, it looks awesome. So these are pretty cool tuning keys. Alright, let me do 5 more and we'll be right back. Alright, another quick update. Looking good. I got the string trees, or the tuning pegs installed. I have to do the string trees when we're putting the strings on when we're assembling it, but yeah, looks pretty good. Alright, now it's time to tape up the neck, and we're going to put, disassemble, we're going to take everything off it. Then the top section is going to be painted the golden sunrise color, and we'll put some paint on it and let that cure for about a week, and we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, quick update. Got it all taped up, and it looks good. Got just a hair of a lip there. We're going to go over there and put about 3 coats of the golden sunrise paint on the front. Alright, we'll see you when it's all over. Alright, just a quick update for you. Got the paint on the headstock. I just painted it so it's still wet, but yeah, looks pretty awesome. And there's the body. So yeah, it turned out pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to put this up and we're going to let it dry. And let me set it down, let me concentrate. Make sure I don't bump anything, jeez. Okay, there we go. Cool. Alrighty, so that concludes today's progress on the Golden Sunset guitar build. And we're going to start something really cool tomorrow probably, so I can't wait to show you that. But I hope you guys are having a good night, and we're going to continue on with the Ninja Warrior guitar build. I can't wait to show you the color that's going to be. That's going to be anodized blue, and that's going to be such a sweet color. Alright, and hope everybody has a good night, and we will see you soon. Good afternoon, everybody. How is everyone on this fine Tuesday afternoon? It is June 14th, 2022, and it is time to put together the Golden Sunset Stratocaster guitar. And as you can see, I've got the parts that I'm going to install. I've got my tools ready, and I've got the body set up for the Golden Sunset guitar build. Just completed the Michael Sweet Stratocaster guitar. Now we're gonna work on the Golden Sunset guitar. Got my tools, got some incense going, got the dogs ready to go. And okay, so the first step as always is to install the bridge. Got all my parts in bags. So I've got my bridge, installed the bridge, and we'll be right back. Alright, we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, got the bridge installed and looking pretty good. Alright. The whammy bar, okay. So what I'll do now is I'll flip it over and install the claw and the screws, and we'll see you in a second. Alright, springs are installed, looking good. Alright, time to flip it over and we'll continue there. We'll see you in a little bit. Alright, got the input jack wired. It's pretty simple on this one. It's just ground and a hot. And I had to use different colors. It's raining big time here in Central Florida, but that's okay. I'm indoors and we're good to go. Alright, so I'm going to pull the wires through and install this, and we'll see you in a second. Alright, we got the input jack worked up. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I've got the pickguard that I bought, and I bought a really good pickup for this guitar, really high pickup. And I'm going to install that, install the pedometer, and do the basic wiring on here. And then we're going to transfer over. I'm going to do the ground wire through the bridge there. And we'll see you next step. Alright, we'll see you in a sec. Alright, got the body all squared away. It's time to work on the pickguard. I've got the pedometer. I've got the pickup that I bought on Amazon.com. I think it's like 17.5 ohms. So it's pretty hot. It's going to sound pretty good. I'm going to have to wire it off. I don't know if you know about these. This is can be coil split, but I'm not going to use that function. So the hot's going to be the black wire. The neutral is going to be the green and the ground. And then I'm going to tuck away and tape the red and the white wire. So that could be the accessories. So these are the two I'm going to use. And I'm going to get this set up. I'm going to mount it in the pickguard with the screws and the springs, and mount the pedometer, and I'll be right back. Alright, see you in a second. Alright, got everything mounted up. I'm going to get the guitar body back out and get it all wired up, and we'll see you in a second. Alright, everything wired up successfully. Now I'm going to flip over the pickguard and put a screw in and get it set, and then get the neck ready. Alright, let's see in a little bit. Alright, got a couple screws, actually 3 screws in the pickguard. And it looks like it's going to line up perfectly. Alright, and we'll do a sound check here. Let me get everything squared away. And we're going to test it out and see if it wired up correctly. Alright, see you in a second. Alright, it's time for a sound test. It's always a good part. Alright, we got the hot signal. Alright, let's turn the volume all the way down. It's all the way down. Alright, nothing. Turn the volume all the way up. Alright, successful. Turn the volume back down. Alright, nothing, so that's good. We got a perfect wiring installation. Alright, so let me put this back on the rack, and then we can start getting the neck ready. Alright, we'll see in a little bit. Alright, got the neck out. Now we're going to install the tuning keys. And everything looks good so far. Alright, and you remember we installed the Fender style tuning keys. And I'll actually put my logo on the headstock after we figure out where the string trees are going to go. And I think I'm going to opt to go with the chrome logo. I do have an example of the chrome logo right there, so you can see it. I don't know if I'll use this exact one. I'll probably print out another one where we're going to go with the chrome. Seems how everything's chrome, and I think it's going to look really good. Alright, so let me get these tuning keys installed, and we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, got the tuning keys installed, and this neck is looking awesome, man. That is a beautiful neck. Wow. Okay. So time to get the body out, back out, and it's time to join the neck to the body, the fun part. Alright, we'll see you in a few minutes. Alright, my favorite part, time to join the neck to the body. Alright, fingers crossed, wish me luck. We'll see you when you got the neck on. Alright, see you in a little bit. Alright, quick update, I've got the neck installed and it's looking amazing. Alright, let me show you that. Wow, that neck really is just awesome. I love that. That's just so cool. Alright, so what the next step is going to be is I'm going to screw in completely the pickguard, and then I'm going to hang this on the hanger for a little while and clean up my mess and everything like that, and then we'll start to string it up and then get the string trees all situated and then dial it in. And I'll probably do my logo tomorrow. It's getting pretty late today, but yeah, I did as far as I can today, but it's looking pretty good. Alright, and we'll see you a little bit. Alright, another quick update. I got all the plastics taken off. It's looking awesome. Let's see if I can get some reflections here. Yeah, look at that. That looks killer. Awesome. Alright, let me go hang this up. I'll clean up my mess from assembly, and then we'll put some strings on here, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Awesome. Alright.